What's going on, man? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good, man.
What's up,
going
brother?
on?
How you doing?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
good, man. Hey, is my lighting good
perfect.
for you?
We just chatting. what is going
Yeah,
on, man? Everybody, what's
no
going on?
doubt. Everything good, man. I need to know it's like it's good that we talking because
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
I'll
ready.
get right into it. If you ready, you ready? You know, it's like I started doing this, and I know you started years ago, but I started in 2021 because my ex-girlfriend was like, she's in the medical field. She's like, Leon, I know you're a narcissist. I never told anybody, right? And so that was my problem, though. I was avoiding, you know, in therapy, that avoidance, you get that. You're told, this is what you're doing. So anyway, what gets me is that I'm so happy that you and I are talking because for the last 2 years, I've amassed like 340 or 350,000. I don't call people followers, I call them listeners, right? And out of those 340 in 2 years, okay?
Oh, wow.
I've only had 7 men reach out to me. And I'm sure you experienced the same thing, close to it. But for years, I kept this a secret. For years, I hurt women. For years, I was a bad father. I was a bad husband. I was a bad boyfriend. And you know, we think we're the best of everything. We think we're better than everybody. I had that. And me being in the military for 32 years, I was arrogant, cocky, self-centered, over the top, overbearing, all of those traits. And so I'm glad that you and I are talking because out of those 7 men that reached out to me in 2 years, out of 340,000 people, all of them are under the age of 40, okay? Had I not gone through therapy from 2014 to 2015, I'm almost 58 years old. I would be a 58-year-old whore still. Because as you know, narcissistic people enjoy what we do. We enjoy the attention. We enjoy the praise. I enjoy being evil. I enjoy being angry. I enjoyed hurting women. I enjoyed saying bad things to my kids, the people that I led in the Navy. I enjoyed it, Lee. It felt good. And I try to tell people this is why narcissistic people don't change because, you know, as you know, going through therapy, it hurts. Sitting there saying, hey, Lee, hey, Leon, this is what's going on. Hey, Leon, next week we're going to talk about your mom. I'm like, hell no. No, oh, no, we're not doing that. But I couldn't tell the psychotherapist that. Hey, Leon, next week we're going to talk about forgiveness. I'm like, who the hell am I supposed to forgive? You know what I'm saying? I've been brutalized since I was a kid. And Lee, at age 11 is when my transition started. I wasn't going to be an empath. It was guaranteed that I was going to be a consistent asshole, narcissistic, which I didn't know at 11. I was going to be a cheater. I could have been gay. I could have been a child molester. I could have been an abuser. I could have been a murderer. Because those people were the ones that were touching me, abusing me, molesting me, kicking me to the curb, leaving me behind, talking about me, abusing me. I didn't realize I was abused until I was 46 years old. So the abuse that I put off on my ex-wife, my kids, my ex-girlfriends, I didn't realize it as abuse until in psychotherapy said, do you realize you were being abused, Leon? I'm like, no, I wasn't. No. You know, I don't want to think my parents were abusing me. She said, no, the other people were abusing me. I had an uncle that was touching me for 2 years. He would put Vaseline on his hands and shove his hands in my pants. Yeah, and so I developed from him. I developed anger issues, deep anger issues. My cousins that molested me, I developed fear of women. My babysitter took my virginity at 8. I developed more fear of women. I developed a fear of brown-skinned women. I developed a fear of the males in my family. They're supposed to protect me, but they were hurting me. Aside from touching my 10-year-old penis, I'm like, what the hell does this dude want with my 10-year-old penis, my ball? You know, it's like, I didn't know, but I didn't tell anybody. He wound up getting murdered, and I was like, my mom was like, well, my nickname is Double O, right? She said, Double O, well, you're not going to go to your uncle's funeral. And I'm thinking like, I ain't planning on going. I would go and spit on him. You know what I'm saying? So I developed this mindset towards men at an early age. I have friends that are gay from childhood that I love my gay friends. I love my transgender friends. In the military, you meet all kind of people. So I was never homophobic, but I was angry because this man wasn't supposed to be touching me. I was angry because my cousins weren't supposed to be touching me.
Wow.
I lost my virginity at 8 years old. So I'm having sex at 8, playing house at 8. I became a father at 8, like playing house. Leon, you're the dad and I'm the mom. My babysitter was 8 years older than me. So how am I supposed to learn how to love from that perspective? And then my parents get divorced. How am I supposed to know how to be a father or a husband? And my parents were divorced at 11 years old. How? But I learned how to be hateful. I learned how to watch porn. I learned how to be a whore. I learned how to abuse women, verbally abuse, mental abuse. I was never physically abusive, okay? But I learned these things as a child because, as you know, narcissism starts in the childhood from neglect and abuse. My mother taught me everything, a lot. I didn't start appreciating my mom until I was 46 and in therapy because my mother started smoking crack in 1985 and she was gone until 2011. I was sent to live with a lady when I was 11 when my parents got divorced. So you really think I'm going to want to love somebody? You really think I'm going to have empathy? No. No. And they like, well, Leon, how come you didn't leave my ex? Man, I've always had great women.
Me too. I
beautiful women.
I can attest to that right there. It's crazy. Yeah.
Right? But the fear I had of women hurting me, because I said, if my mom hurts me, if my mother can send me away, if my mother can discard me, so we talk about these terms now, discard, silent treatment, love bombing. I was experiencing this stuff as a kid, and you probably were too. So if my mom can discard me, then any woman is going to discard me. So what I have to do, I have to protect myself from these bad women. They weren't bad. I was bad. I became bad, and I like being bad. I did. I used to. And then brown-skinned women, and then in porn, I saw pale white women that I was attracted to. And so in the Navy, we go to Australia, and what do we meet? Pale white women, okay? In the Navy, what do I see? Brown-skinned women. Women that abused me. I had this girl when I was 15 years old. She was 17. The women that always took advantage of me, that always abused me and dominated me, were older than me, were thick, voluptuous, big breasts, big butts, big thighs, big lips. Very sexual, very sensual. That's what I became addicted to. That's what I saw. That's what I wanted. So my relationships weren't based on, bless you, my relationships weren't based on love, empathy, growth, development, personality. They were all based on sex and body parts. The girl, when I was 15, she was 14, she gave me gonorrhea. So then I'm like, man, now I'm fearing brown-skinned girls. I'm like, do they all have gonorrhea? I'm 15. I go to the Cleveland Clinic. I'm in Cleveland now. I go to the free clinic to get 2 shots from each butt cheek. Boom, boom, 10 pills. And in 10 days, I'm clean. So guess what? I become risky, Lee, sexually risky. Because I got gonorrhea at 15, and guess what? It wasn't a big deal to me. I meet a dark-skinned girl. She takes me home every day for a year, have sex with me, cook me a steak, she snort cocaine, and send me home for a year. So I was dominated by women from age 5 to 17. So how do you think I'm going to treat women when I join the Navy?
You're going to flip that. Now you're in control. Now you have the control. You have the power. And the dynamic.
And it never stop. I'm starting to take some time, brother. Go ahead. I'm going to hear it. Yeah. And so this is what psychologists say, oh, you shouldn't, and I failed therapy. We'll get to that. So psychologists say you shouldn't ask about a person's past. They're wrong, Lee. They're wrong. You better ask about their past because you're going to repeat their past, and it's going to be your history. It's going to be your present. It's going to be your future. I hurt women. I broke their hearts. I despised women. I hated women. I tried to love women. I'm going to like the hell out of you. We're going to plan a beautiful weekend, but it's all about me because I want you to see that I can do these things. And then I was just sexual. I tried to be a husband. I couldn't. I wasn't groomed to be a groom. And I'm not putting blame on anybody. My dad was a hell of a man. My uncles were hell of a men. my brothers, but I glorified the pimps, the hustlers. I glorified the men that would cheat on women and mistreat women and lead them down a wrong, dark path. Okay, and I felt good doing that. So I developed this trait, man, that was so deep in my soul and my spirit. I didn't want to let it go, Lee. So I joined the military. Then I had become this guy that I could hide. Okay, and so now I'm in the military. And guess what? I'm from Cleveland. Cleveland loves two things: athletes and military. So I was an athlete, but I didn't go professional. They love professional athletes. I became a military guy. I became very cocky, very self-centered, very egotistical, very overbearing, very over the top, very social, very experimental. And through the military, I was the international worldwide whore. And that's the only thing that resonated with me. Loving a girl, nope. Getting married, nope. Having empathy, nope. I was addicted to hurting women. I was addicted to getting women. I was addicted to turning women out. I could watch a woman cry, make her cry, and get angry or horny.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong with me, Leaf, as a child. I should have had therapy when I was 5 or 6 years old. But let me hear your side, but I'm sorry. I'm in the story to people
because, like I said, I've watched your videos. I haven't heard your story from beginning to where you are right now. So I've seen a lot of your videos come across my timeline, on my YouTube channel, they pop up, on my Facebook, like literally everywhere. TikTok, every platform I'm on, I see your videos pop up. I'm like, okay, there you go. So I follow you on every platform. I just didn't know your story from beginning to where you are right now and how you got to your point. Because you said a lot. You said a lot of, a lot of powerful things that kind of led you to where you are right now. Like how it started in childhood and things of that nature. So I don't have any memories before I turned 8 years old. My memories are completely blank. It feel like. Honestly, really? It felt like I woke up on my my 8th or 9th birthday. I feel like I was born on that day. My body remembers it because I go to therapy and talk to my therapist about it. My body remembers it, my mind remembers it, but my conscious mind has blocked it out. It's behind something. There's a blockage up there. You know what happened to you. I don't know what happened to me. So my body has created this kind of blockage on my memories to protect me, to guard me from pain, to guard me from whatever trauma I experienced. So when you just said we're going to go to therapy and talk about mom, we're going to talk about dad, we're going to talk about that stuff, resonated with me because that's exactly what my therapist says. Like, oh, be prepared next week. We're going to talk about Little League. I was like, oh, whoo.
Hey, bro, when she used to tell me that, I was in the military going through my therapy, and it was kind of easier. So the thing about it, in the military, when you go to therapy, you can't fail. So if they send you to anger management classes, drug and alcohol abuse classes, talk therapy, you have to pass. You can't. But I failed it twice. The first time I went, it was a white lady. She was a psychotherapist. I didn't know what the hell a psychotherapist was. So I'm a very flirtatious dude, right? And I'm visual. So when I see something I like, I concentrate on it. So I was standing to her, and she had big breasts. I was standing at her breasts. I didn't hear nothing she said, Lee. So at that time, I had been in the Navy 31 years or so. I was an E9, making $120,000 a year, leading a lot of people, very arrogant, very cocky. And so I'm like, I don't even remember why I went. So I never volunteered to go to see a therapist, never. But it was part of my retirement physical. And so I got an email, but my stuff started years before that. I failed therapy, failed therapy, went back, whatever. But I'm like, I'm about to retire, nothing wrong with me. I never thought there was anything. I knew something was wrong, but I'm like, why should I sit down and talk to you if I'm about to retire, move on, and I'm making $120,000
that's what I tell a lot of people. Like they ask why don't narcissistic people go to therapy a lot. I was like, why? When a lot of times, surface level, everything is good. You got success. You getting women, you living a life that you want to live. Internally, you might be struggling, but externally, you might have a lot of stuff going for you. Like, why? I'm good. Why do I need help? So that's why I tell a lot of people. I'm glad you said that right there too. But also, you said something earlier that kind of resonated with me too, because my therapist is a woman as well, and she kind of looked like my wife. So I actually feel like that helps me out a little bit with a lot of what I call transference. Like when I'm talking to the therapist, it feel like I'm talking to my wife sometimes. When I feel like something I might not be able to share with my wife, I'll share with my therapist. I'm like, what do you think about this right here? And my therapist talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she be talking shit to me. That's what I need. I need someone to keep it straight with me. You can't be soft with me because I'm charming. I'm manipulative as hell. I can manipulate too. So I keep it straight with me. Don't sugarcoat anything with me. So she keeps it straight. She's like, don't say that shit. That's stupid. I'm like, okay, you know, yeah. So she gives me that perspective. Yeah. So that makes sense when you just said, I mean, I have a woman therapist because like I intentionally picked a woman therapist because like you said earlier, you struggle with your emotions, you struggle with empathy and stuff like that. So when I was looking for a therapist, I was just like, you know, society tells us that women are more in tune with their emotions. I was like, let me find a woman therapist that's gonna help me out. So I found one on psychologytoday.com, and you know I live in North Carolina. So my therapist is in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I was in there and I told her what was going on. So what you just said, I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what it was. But I was good overall, but I was struggling because my happiness, I was like struggling with being happy for a long period of time. Like I was recycling women, I was treating my wife badly, my kids were struggling and whatnot. I feel like my oldest son, he was scared of me, and I hated that. You know, I really hated that feeling of my kids being scared of me. And my wife would tell me, like, I think your kids are scared of you. That's why they don't talk to you. So that hurt a little bit. So, you know, I had to go to therapy and talk to my therapist about that to get it out. For anything, therapy helps with that, kind of provides that outlet that you need. So you're not necessarily taking it out on your family. You're not necessarily taking it out on your wife or your kids and whatnot. Kind of like what you just said earlier, because like I said, a lot of what you said resonate with me. It's just like we kind of end up in very similar positions, but like different pathways to get there. But I'm glad you said that though, because you have a lot of experience going on with that right there. The military, that. And that's the perfect segue to tell people, just like that's why, like you had a from the outside looking in, you had a good life. So why would you need to go get help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this,
and that's exactly, that was my thought. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, we can be very manipulative, or we could be very evil. We could be very disrespectful and rude. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna stare at her cleavage. And that's what I did. And she like, Mr. Walker. I'm like, yeah. I knew she had called. She's like, look, you don't take this seriously. You're not serious about this. I'm like, no, I don't need. She's like, you can leave. And this was a psychotherapist. And so in the military, you get in trouble for failing or walking out. By the time I got to my job, she had sent my boss an email. I was super pissed then. So because I'm an E9 in the military, I'm making 6 figures. People love me. People kiss my butt. I'm all about that. Then, so I had to go back, and then I was still cocky. Yeah. I wasn't humble, right? No atonement, nothing. So I go back, and it's a psychiatrist, and she wasn't pretty to me. And so I was like, I'm not. I was showing her that I was uninterested in what she had to say. So I'm looking at her little degrees on the wall, very disrespectful again. She's like, you know, you don't take this serious. So I was in her office for 18 minutes. The first lady, the psychotherapist, I was in her office for 50 minutes. So I'm getting asked to leave politely. You can leave, Mr. Walker. So the third time, actually the fourth time I went in, I stayed. It was a little bitty lady. She was like 4'11", little white lady, and had black hair, right? And it was hanging in her face. And she had on all black. So I'm in there like, I'm spooked. I'm like, this lady is like gothic, you know, she's gonna put a spell on me, you know? And so I'm like, and you know what she said, man? Like you said, you're a therapist. So the thing about therapy, you have to have somebody that you can connect with.
Absolutely.
It's very important. Very important. And so she said, I'm not going to hurt you, Mr. Walker. And I was like, and she said, you don't have to be the big bad master chief in here, because the E9 in the Navy is a master chief. This is as high as you can go. She said, you don't have to be the big bad master chief in here. And I was like, am I acting like that way? Am I acting that way? She said, yeah, you know, have a seat. And so she was a soft landing for me, because before that, Lee, I went into my therapy session smelling like cigarettes and chicken grease, and I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm eating fried wings. I go smoke. I'm like, drink a Coke, right? I go in the office. She's like, can you not come in here smelling like cigarettes? I'm like, not really. I mean, another failure. Well, you can come back next week. I'm like, I wanted to flip her off, but I didn't, because I had to be professional. Yeah. These are people, as you know, with PhDs, right? And they're medical professionals, so they have access to my job. I'm getting my boss getting these emails, my captain, Master T, you know, you can't be disrespectful over there. So therapy, 2014, 2015 was also the time that I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack in August of 2013. And in 14, I started my therapy. The end of 14, I'm walking in and out, smoking like cigarettes, smelling like Black and Miles and chicken grease. I'm just gangster in there, Lee. I was a hot mess, man. Bro, look, if me and you were together, we would have been successful. People would have hated us. I was smelling like burnt chicken grease and cigarettes and Black and Miles. I got on a nice uniform, but I stink. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't brushing my tongue. I'm in there like leaning on the couch, like, can you sit up, Miss Walker? I'm like, look, you're not going to talk to me like that. I'm a master chief in the Navy. You're not going to treat me like that. Well, you can leave, you know. And I'm like, man, it just took me over and over. So therapy is hard, bro, as you know. And I finally get in there, and this little lady, she's like this tall, and she said, I'm not going to hurt you, Mr. Walker. And I was like, man, I hadn't heard that in a long time, because I was always hurting people, you know. I was very verbally abusive to my sailors. And so I stayed, and I learned a lot about avoidance, you know, lack of empathy, afraid to love, why, you know, who hurt me, forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, you went through everything, all of that. Homework. I saw one of your videos a long time ago, last year, about homework. You know, you talk about the sphere of influence and all that stuff. Yeah, people don't understand it. And I go back next week. Did you do your homework? I'm like, did you leave me alone? No, you know, I wasn't, because she was nice. She was cool, you know. But yeah, but I watched the video. The other day you watched, matter of fact, today, I think, or today or yesterday, about dating somebody that's good looking. And that was on point. It was funny because it's true.
Because like, so I like how open you are, but a lot of my videos, it sounds like I'm talking about somebody else, but I'm actually talking about myself, because that's how, like, I get jealous when people tell me, like, when people compliment my partner. It bugs me. Like, I tell people in comment section, gonna say, yeah, that's a super insecurity of mine. So when they compliment my partner, like, oh, how'd you pull that one? Hey, you outkicked your coverage, or something. I'm like, you know, you take it as a joke, but it really does, like, whatnot. So that's what it used to get on my nerves.
Funny
when people would say that. They would compliment my partner. They would just, oh, you got a beautiful girlfriend. Your girlfriend is hot, man. I was like, and it would bug. Yeah, I like having a beautiful woman, but it's just like, it bugs me to the point where, like, what about me? Like, am I not handsome? You didn't compliment me. So it would just drive the jealousy crazy, and it would cause problems at home when my partner would get complimented. And just like you said earlier, sometimes you do get to the point where you see people cry. You do get pleasure from watching people cry, or you get turned on. I've done videos about it before too, because that used to happen to me. Yeah. And I asked my therapist about that. I'm like, this is an issue. I should not be wanting to sleep with somebody when they're boohoo crying. So I asked my therapist, I was like, tell me what's wrong with me. Why do I get turned on when somebody's crying in front of me? And she was just like, it's the vulnerability. It's like that vulnerability that they're showing, and the power and control. If you made them cry, it's even worse, because you have the power and control plus the vulnerability. So it turns you on. It's not the tears, it's the vulnerability. It's the power and control you might feel over that person. So I was just like, damn, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. When I would make a woman cry, two things will happen. Yeah. Either I'm gonna go hug her, right? And if she embraced me, I'm like, okay, she wants me, so I want to have sex. But if she pushes me away, I get mad. I go leave. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a silent treatment. It was really badly, and you know what? Like I tell you, man, had I not got therapy and talked to that lady, I wouldn't be talking to you now. I would either be dead, somebody would have killed me, or I would have committed suicide, because it was like the walls would come in closing in on me. So when you retire from the military as an E9 after 32 years, after years of people kissing your butt, praising you, I was always ranked #1. I was always Sailor of the Year. I was always Recruit of the Year. Yeah. That high. And then when I retired, the lights shut off, the curtains closed, and all the fanfare is gone. I went into deep depression in 2015 when I retired, August. I had nothing but retirement, but I didn't have those people anymore. I didn't have that adulation. I didn't have that admiration that we need. That those external factors were gone. And so I felt like I could have killed myself and been okay with it. I felt empty, bro. You know how it is. That empty feeling is like, How come why are you happy? Why are you happy? What the hell you laughing for? What the hell you smiling for? You know, I didn't have that, and I wanted that back, but I didn't deserve it, you know, because I messed up my marriage. I messed up every girlfriend I had. I hurt all of them. I hurt my ex-wife. And you said something earlier, man, that struck me because my kids feared me, and I liked the fact that they feared me, but that was bad. I would walk in the house, come home from work, and I'd be like, oh, it's quiet. It's peaceful. To me, that was respect. And my girlfriend was like, Leon, they're scared of you.
So, what you just said, though, because, like, you think, because, like, fear means respect. Fear means power. Fear means, so you try to control people through fear. And that it wasn't just with my kids. Like, they were scared of me. I'm pretty sure my wife got to the point where she was scared of me, too, to the point where, you know, mentally you condition people not to be afraid to talk to you. You know what I mean? You condition, like, it's like little, sometimes it's subtle stuff. Sometimes it's overt anger, it's rage, it's yelling and screaming, but it's not always like that. You know what I mean? I'm a yelling and screaming, but sometimes you don't even have to yell and scream. You can just, hey, that bothers me. Hey, I don't, you doing that again. So it conditions people to not even speak up anymore. Mm-hmm. So now you're not, like I said, in relationships, you're not even talking no more now. Your partner, you're like, why are you so quiet? You don't talk to me no more. They scared. Why would they talk to you? Because they walk on eggshells. They're afraid to voice their opinion because they might get yelled at. They might get screamed at. And just like you said earlier, I've never been physically abusive. And I used to brag on that. I was like, hey, y'all, I've never been physically abusive. But when I got online, people was like, that's not a flex. You damage people's mentally. I was like, oh, shit, you know what? I didn't think about it that way. I'll be bragging on not hitting somebody. Like, and I just thought about it, like, you don't have to hit people to hurt them. You know what I mean? You can do a lot of, the mental stuff lasts longer. You know, the wounds, the physical wounds are going to heal. The mental shit lasts a long time. So, you know, it's a wild dynamic to live in, you know. It's just craziness sometimes.
You know what? And see, what I see now, Lee, is that these kids, I think the narcissism, I think NPD or BPD or whatever is going to increase because I'm not knocking this whole generation, but a great portion of this generation, these kids are very disrespectful, very rude. They don't care about love or empathy. The same things they say we don't have. These kids are like already absent of that because of drugs, because of divorce, because of violence, because of the economics, whatever. But they enjoy like PS5, smoking weed. These kids, they don't even, there's no chivalry. We had chivalry. You've had chivalry, but these kids, ask them what chivalry is, they don't know. They don't look up to parents. They don't look up to mentorship. They don't look up to being driven and passionate. They don't want to. They don't care about making their parents happy. They don't. They're close to the people that are far away, and they're far away from the people that they should be close to. Jay Chevy said that, and it's true because these kids smoking weed. They don't dress nice. They don't have respect for their elders. They don't have respect for their parents. These kids are hitting their parents, talking back, being rude. They don't listen. And I know I made my children upset for a long time, but I took care of my kids too. You know, I provided for my children. But nowadays, they think that you're supposed to pay their cell phones and their car insurance till they're in their 30s. These kids are okay with staying home until they're 30 years old. You know, we had to go at 18. I joined the Navy at 17. I was gone. You know, and so they don't. Trying to raise these kids the old school way doesn't work. Society has tied our hands behind our back. You can't even yell at a kid without getting in trouble.
I also think now that what you just said, how it seems like more narcissistic people are popping up because of lack of empathy. I think you get rewarded nowadays for having a lack of empathy, especially with social media and stuff like that. Exactly. You get rewarded for fighting and doing You get rewarded for fighting and doing heartless stuff online nowadays.
You get rewarded for doing heartless stuff. That's right. No, you nailed that because now here's the thing. For me, going into therapy, it's taboo. Black men don't go through therapy because we're raised to man up, suck it up. You crying like a little girl, boy. You being a little sissy, you little punk. And so I was conditioned not to go to therapy. I was conditioned not to cry. If I said, I love her, they made fun of me as a little child. So that was like, no, we didn't talk about love. So now, slowly but surely, I'm being groomed to not love. Slowly but surely, I'm being groomed to not have empathy. Whereas the girls are groomed to be empaths at an early age. Get in the kitchen, cook, clean, have kids, and shut your mouth. They were groomed, and they're still being groomed that way because the men are put on the pedestal for being heartless, for being a thug, for being hard, for being nasty, for being a great athlete, for being a womanizer. We are put on a pedestal for being what we should not be, and the women are being put on not being put on the pedestal for being who they are and who they're supposed to be, right? Because we're trying to take away from these women, and then we get mad because women are leading, women are strong, women are in charge, women are empaths, women are loving, women are caring, women are passionate. I'm not saying men aren't. I'm not saying we not, but we have to do this more, and so to groom our younger men to be this way. But they're getting the opposite. Like you said, they're being promoted and being awarded for being.
You see that though, and what you just said, like when you like growing up and whatnot, especially when I was growing up, you like stop. They would tell you to stop acting like a girl, suck it up, don't cry, only girls cry, stuff like that. So it mentally conditions you to look at women as weaker. You know what I mean? It mentally conditions you to, like, when you see a woman, it's like, oh, I don't want to act like a girl, so because girls are weak. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people get that bred into a lot of men get that bred into it. They're socialized to think that women are weaker. So you see that type of shit nowadays, especially with a lot of these podcasts. Like, hey, women need to do this. Women are changing, and so if you're conditioned and socialized to think women are weaker and expressing emotions is weak, you don't want to see women grow. You don't want to see women succeed because that makes you angry as hell. It's like, oh, so I was told that women are supposed to do this and women are weak, and acting like a girl is wrong. So, but this woman makes more money than me. This woman is my boss. This woman is in charge. This woman is my therapist. So you automatically start to look down on women because of that type of stuff. Because like you said earlier, I love women. I was raised by all women, so I have a different level of respect for women, because I was raised by all of them. So I've seen women struggle. I've seen it. So I have just a different level for that. So I see it nowadays, especially when you hear a lot of men talking about that type of stuff, narcissism or not. We got conditioned and socialized to think acting like a girl was weakness. So you see women as weak. And it's stupid as hell. So you don't want to see women grow. Yeah. You don't want to see women do better than you because it makes you feel insignificant. It brings the insecurities out, and it makes you feel like you're shaming yourself because your parents used to shame you for acting like that. You see what I'm saying? Wow.
Exactly. And what I hate to hear now is high value, right? Look, hey, based on the traits and what high value calls for, making six figures, I was a high value man. Yeah. I was a leader. I had a network and a net worth. But I wasn't shit. Lee. I wasn't. And so here's my thing with this high value. And only through therapy I can connect with what she taught me, man. I value my friends. I value conversation. I value you, Lee. I value you. Likewise. I value your videos, right? I value my ability to say, you know what, baby, I'm sorry. But before apologizing, shit, I wasn't. No, it hurt. It hurt. And it hurt too bad to apologize. I was like, and look, I could get caught and be in the wrong and be like, that wasn't me. Like Eddie Murphy, that joke, that was real. I'm like, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. And so my thing is, I value. I used to value just her body and sex. Now I value personality, man. I value personality. I value women that understands me. I like being nurtured, Now, look, Lee, now, for years, I want to cuddle. I wouldn't hold no hands. Now I want to cuddle, you know what I'm saying? I want to hold hands. Like, oh, it's okay, man. You can hold it. I don't mean you soft, like
holding hands. You can't do that in public. So that's why you don't want to do it. And like say, your wife, your girlfriend, they want to do the type of stuff. Like, no, that made me look weak. That made me look soft. The boys gonna laugh at me and shit like that. So that does happen right there. And I'm glad you said that earlier because that's why I started laughing, because you said apologizing is hard. Apologizing, I would rather damn near die than apologize sometimes, because like apologizing means I'm wrong. It brings on, the biggest thing it brings on is the shame. The shame creeps in, and it just beats you down to make you feel like you're not good enough. And just like, I would rather get angry, beat on my chest, yell and scream than apologize. Especially back, now I'm a lot better at that. I apologize now because I've been working on myself and whatnot. But back in the day, oh hell no, I'd rather just leave. You see? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I did. Before I would apologize, I'm gonna walk away. Oh. I'm gonna go watch porn. I'm gonna go smoke. I'm gonna go drink, and I'm not gonna apologize. And so, nowadays, here's the thing. Going back to the high value thing, most of those guys want a woman to bow down and submit. right? But they don't understand what submitting means. There's people read it and be like, oh, you got to submit. Submitting really also means to open up your heart to your partner. It doesn't mean that you've given up anything. It doesn't mean that you're losing. My thing is women that are CEOs, COOs, leadership, got their own business in the military, running the household, doing this, they want to come home and be a woman. They want to come home and be that little girl that melt in your arms. They don't want to be strong. They call it struggle strength. My friend Claudetta calls it struggle strength. They don't want to be strong all day long. I know how to motivate a woman to give me that. I knew this when I was young, but I used it in a manipulative way. But now it's like with the women like to talk. They like a man to listen. They like eye contact. They like truth. They like honesty. Everything that I was the opposite of, and I knew what I was pushing away because I was afraid to connect with the woman. I was afraid. I'm going to like the hell out of you. I'm going to like you. I'm going to like the hell out of you. But when it came to that love and mushy, I'm like, baby, I would suppress those emotions. I'm like, ooh, Leon, you don't regret none of that? I could feel the regret coming up, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm gone, you know? So I was a track star, Lee, as a kid. I was a track star as a teenager. So now I knew what to do to women. I could get women back then, but I couldn't keep them. I didn't have longevity of staying power. I didn't have it, bro. I was like a promiscuous whore, and I wanted it. The woman could be 4'11" and weigh 275 pounds, but I found something attractive about her. And my friends would be like, man, what the hell is wrong with you? It's like, I don't know. I didn't know, man.
It got to the point where I say, with your friends and say stuff like that, but like, it's not even like the physical attraction all the time. It's like the emotional attraction, the mental. Like sometimes all it takes is some validation. Tell me I'm funny. Tell me I'm handsome. That's all it takes. Like,
there you go.
And like y'all don't understand the mindset of that type of stuff like that. All it takes sometimes is a little bit of validation, a little bit of understanding, a little bit of like kindness sometimes, you know. And that's what when you just said that. That's why it makes sense because.
Yeah, because my friends used to be like, they look at me and I'm looking at them like I didn't know what they saw. I knew what I saw in her. I knew what I felt, right? And they're like, man, what the hell you going, man, Leon, you're a good looking dude. You can have somebody better. But Lee, it got to where I was so locked into the little things she did that made me feel, that touched the little boy Leon on the inside. That little heavy-set woman, I was taking him to the matinee. I didn't care in the daytime. We go to the movies at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm proud of you right now, you know, because he just made me feel good. And that was what I was chasing all my life because I wasn't giving that to women, but I wanted that. And when I got it, it was all about me. That was a self-centered mindset. And then I started starving women. I wasn't holding hands. I wasn't hugging. I wasn't cuddling. And I'm like, okay, I like you for a minute. And then that love bombing, it wears off. And I'm like, damn, I feel
it is. You do get to the point where you feel empty. After the love bombing stops, after you stop looking at them in a certain type of way, you feel empty. It's just like, what am I, you know, I used to question myself, like, what am I doing here? You know, there's more, like you just said, trying to be a whore and shit like that. It's like, what am I doing here? Like, I could be doing so much better than this person. Now I would convince myself that this person wasn't good enough for me. And while I was convincing myself that, I would start treating them badly. You know, if I start thinking about you negatively inside, I would start treating you negatively outside. You know,
it's crazy how that happens, and people don't understand it. Yeah. I understand you with that. I understand that. And then if you was my brother and I saw you going that way, and we're both narcissists, which we are, I can help you, but nobody else can understand that because I was the same way. It's like, you know, after a while, I'm like, man, I'm starting to not like her. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? All my exes were, I'm talking beautiful on the inside. Wouldn't cheat, right? I like women that's gonna smoke, drink, fight, argue, and have sex. I was all about that life, bro. I was all about, but so the ones that were like wholesome and respectful and didn't smoke cigarettes and, you know, weren't thugged out and weren't out, I was like, you're boring. Because I grew up around that and I saw my father like those type of women. So I was hurting. I heard a lot of good women, man. And, you know, I'm single now. Now I cherish the things that I don't have. And it's like God has placed me in you know, he's got me out here like I'm hidden in plain sight. Because I got to prove myself. You know, these videos is what keeps me grounded and helps me out. You know, when I first did my first video, June of 2021, Mary, the singer, the gospel singer, she got it some kind of way, and it went viral. And then I was like, I didn't really know that narcissism was trending because I was so like didn't want to talk about it because that's me. But I'm showing up in these girls' lives like jingle bells every day, and they like, and they didn't know that I was sick. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that I was narcissistic. So my ex was in the medical field. She told me, Leon, I don't know. We started talking, and then he said, "Why don't you do videos about it?" I'm like, oh, hell no. And I did one. Then I did another one, and Beyonce's mother got it, and it went viral. And I was like, and people were calling me. I'm like, oh man. So then I started getting, you know how it is. Probably when you first started, you feel good. You're like, oh yeah, you know, that's that grandiose type of mind. Look what I'm doing. Look at me. You know, look what I got going on. But then, like, you know, the insults start coming.
Man, it's all good till it's not. You know what I mean? That one insult ruins that whole damn day, don't it?
And you go, and I was like, right? Because I'm doing, I think I'm doing something good. I'm like, I'm helping people. Then here goes somebody, you sick son of a bitch. I'm like,
you still a devil. Yeah. Dude.
And that shut me down, Lee. Hey, I went right into avoidance, and it shut me down. November 2022, this lady was like, you sick son of a bitch, you're demonic. And I was like, because before that, my followers were going up. I'm like, oh, this is cool. You know how it is. It feels good. Thank you, Leon. Congratulations, Leon. Thank you, Leon. And then here come the real ones. They're like, nah, ML, we know you still mess up. Leon, I can't stand your guts. You need to go to hell. I hope you catch on fire. You son of a bitch. I was like, and so I left. November 2022, I stopped posting for a month, but I'm closer to God now. I was 55 years old. I'm about to be 58. I had never called a man my pastor in my life until I met R.C. Blake's. I watched him heavy. I love his video. I watched him faithfully. I've never watched a pastor. Matter of fact, Lee, I was going to church. My girlfriend was like all into church, and I was like, I don't want to hear that church S-H-I-T. I did. I said, I don't want to see a Bible. I don't want to smell a Bible. I said, okay, I'll go to church because she kept bugging me. I went to church, and I was in church flirting.
Flirty?
In the Lord's house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Watching women in the choir dance and watch their breasts bounce around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a dirty, rotten scoundrel in church. And then one day I went to church and I felt a shock to my body. It was like, and I thought people heard it. And I looked around. I left. I should have stayed. But I was always running from God. And so I finally started settling down and talking to him. And just like you, with the videos, I don't plan them. Stuff comes to me because you have a lot of knowledge, you know? It said osmosis, stuff is downloading, and I talk about it. But I have a great relationship with God now. But people, man, those insults, you know how it is.
I'm going like here because, like I said, I get the insults and stuff like that too. Where people call me the Jezebel spirit and stuff like that. I make jokes about it now. It used to get on my nerves, and I used to try to explain myself. My therapist like, stop explaining stuff to people. It's like, your message is not going. It's going to reach the people it needs to reach. Everybody's not going to hear it the same way. You know, everybody's not going to be ready to hear it the same way. So I was just like, you know what? It sucks. And sometimes I still get the insults nowadays. You know, I was like, okay, whatever. Somebody commented on my. I posted a selfie the other day, just being jokey, and somebody said, your looks don't make up for you being a heartless bastard. I'm like, yikes. I want to say something. I'm like, good to know. Thumbs up.
And see, that's right there is growth because, you know, my tongue was, you know, we can be verbally abusive. And so when they were insulting me, I wanted to spit on people through the phone, Lee. I swear.
That's the thing about me is in real life. I've been, you know, growing up, I was just like, I wasn't physically violent towards women, but I've been a lot. I fight a dude. I fight a man. I've been fighting so many fights. So it's just like nowadays, trying to condition yourself to people online are going to talk shit and you can't do anything about it. But okay, whatever you say. So I just had to kind of pull back. And my therapist is just like, you got to take the good stuff and the bad stuff and just be even keel with it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you got to take it as it comes. But like you said earlier, like it just does get to that point where it's just weird. Like when my wife had left me back in 2020, I was completely lost. I ain't had nothing else. I had nothing else. Like, I'm in the house. I'm like, what the hell? I start reading the Bible. I had nothing else left. I started reading the Bible. I read the whole Bible from beginning to end. I used to before I started doing videos about narcissism, I started doing a series called Bible Talk. Where I would just read it. I would read the Bible that day, and just break it down how I talk right now. You know, I told the story about Joseph. I like Joseph's brothers threw him in the pit. He got mad as hell. Hey, Joseph could have got his lick back, but you know what he did when his brothers came to him? He's like, he played it. He's kind of like he played the joke on him. Hey, go get Benjamin real quick. Go get your brother Benjamin and your daddy, or I'm not doing nothing for you. But then he's away. He came back like, I'm Joseph.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. I remember I was crying during that story because my wife had left, and I was just like, I feel like Joseph right now. I'm like, I'm in the pit right now. He done got thrown away by his brothers. He done got locked up because the Pharaoh's wife lied on him. You see what I'm saying? He got locked up because the Pharaoh's wife lied on him. He in jail, and now he's the second in command. And his brother, the first people who threw him away, the people that turned on him at first, they need him. They need him. I was like, they need me right now.
Right.
Like, I was like, damn, Joseph can let them go starve. But
and see, that's a good way to transition, because there's no other way, really. That's why I tell people, narcissistic people, they're not just going to go to therapy, because I was that guy. I felt, I was arrogant, cocky, self-centered, egotistical, overt, all of that. And I'm like, therapy? I don't even know damn. I would get pissed when people tell me you need therapy. But every woman I dated and slept with, and it's been a lot, and I'm not proud of that, they all told me, Leon, there's something wrong with you. I knew something was wrong with me. I knew what it was, the narcissist, but I'm not going to tell anybody, because that's going to scare them away. But I was very greedy, very lustful, My addictions were through the roof. I didn't care. It was easy to make people cry,
The stuff you just said, it doesn't go away though, does it? You still feel it? Yeah, still feel it, don't you?
I still feel it.
People ask me, they see my stuff, I'm like, yo, it doesn't go away. It's like I still think the same.
No.
I just take my time. I behave differently. I act differently. I don't have to act on my first impulse to go. Somebody send me old provocative message back in the day. I don't have to flirt with them. I don't have to go try to sleep with them or something like that to fulfill my ego. I don't have to do that. It actually gives me strength to turn that down, to say no. I get the same feeling from saying no and patting myself on the back that I would have gotten from back in the day. Just like, I can get away with this.
It feels even better now.
It feels so much better now. I think people don't understand that. Just like, you're still a narcissist. Like, it doesn't go away. It's like maintaining something. You have to do like preventative maintenance on yourself. In therapy, I'm glad you said it earlier. Therapy is hard as shit. People don't understand. Therapy requires a level of vulnerability that so many people are not willing to get to. Like, you got to go in there and you got to be real. The stuff I share in therapy,
there you go,
is the stuff I don't want to talk about. Like, if I get sweaty and nervous and I start getting like goosebumps, that's the stuff I need to talk about. I like the stuff that makes me comfortable to talk about. That's not gonna help me. The stuff that I'm uncomfortable talking about, the stuff I feel like is going to embarrass me, the stuff I feel like can be used against me in the real world, that's the stuff I need to talk. That's the stuff I need to talk about to help me process stuff and to help me move forward and help so many more people who might be struggling with that type of stuff right there.
The hard stuff. So that's so right with me now. When people say, Leon, you're an evil son of a bitch, and I go, well, you know what? Let me think about that, because I might have said something that triggered you. But years ago, I would want to climb to the phone. I don't hit women. Yeah, I don't hit women, but like you, I can box, but I would say something nasty to them. But now I go, okay, it hurts. It still hurts when they say it. It doesn't take the sting away. It hurts like a son of a bitch. But like now I go, maybe I did, there's one lady, oh man, Lee, she said, Leon, I effing hate your guts. I never met this lady before in my life. And said, you think you're so Mr. Good looking, you ain't, and so I said, you know what? And it was hard, Lee. It was hard. I said, you know what? I probably triggered you and I'm sorry. And she called me. So now that helped me by saying I'm sorry. Before, had I said I'm sorry when I was younger, when my narcissism was through the roof, I would have been better off early on, of course. Yeah. But it felt good to not apologize. So now it's like, I say I'm sorry, and then good comes out of it. I never thought that anything good would come out of me apologize, but me being weak. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, you shouldn't have did what you did. You shouldn't have said what you said. It is what it is. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
That's wrong. You know,
that's my comeback right there. That's what you get. You shouldn't have said that shit to me. Like, even though what they said to me needed to be said, like you shouldn't have said it. You knew there was going to. What did you think was going to happen?
True.
You know, so it gets into that. It gets into that space right there where people just like they're it's wild. Like and that right there conditions people not to talk to you no more. You know.
There you go. And then you wonder why, what's wrong with them? But I caused everything that was wrong with them. Like, for instance, you know what I never thought about, man? When I cheated, and I was a serial dater and I was a serial cheater, I just couldn't get enough. I could have got enough, but I didn't want to. I chose to be a whore all my life. What I think about was that second, third, and fourth orders of effect that you have on not only your girlfriend, but her mom, her brother, her sister, her dad. I never considered the other people that I was hurting. I didn't. Like when I cheated, when I hurt my wife, I hurt my kids too. But I'm like, so what? I did it, big deal. Get over, we married, let's move on. It was like just people call me. So
but you also see that. But I was gonna say, but you also see in that space what you just said. It's just like you don't think about the order of other people is going to hurt though. You know, so I never thought about who else was going to hurt. When my wife left, I was like, damn, I gotta. It's not just her leaving; it's a whole other side of the family. It's a whole other side of the family that I don't get to talk to no more because of my behaviors and things like that. So it does take. You know, when my wife had left me, last time she left was like March of 2020, and she was gone for a few months. I remember writing her a letter, and I thanked her for leaving. You see what I'm saying? I was just like, if you didn't go, nothing was going to change. You know, nothing was going to change. If you didn't leave, nothing would have changed. So like you were strong enough to leave. You know, did I want her to come back? Yeah, but I didn't think. I was just like, you know what? She don't need to come back right now. And my therapist said the same thing. I was just like, how do I get her back? My therapist was like, you can't get her back. I was like, oh, well, damn. It's like, let me rephrase that. It's like, you're extremely talkative. You're manipulative. You are funny as hell. You can make people laugh. You can get her back under the wrong circumstance, but once she realizes that you haven't changed, the next time she leaves, it's probably gonna be for good. I was like, damn. So I work. You know, I gotta work.
Yeah. My therapist told me to stop dating, and when she told me that, I was like, that's like telling me to stop eating chicken wings. I can't do that. But she was right, because she said, Leon, you were damaging women from years ago. I was carrying my baggage forward, carrying it forward, not trusting her. The reason why I didn't trust those women, because I didn't trust myself. I knew that I was going to cheat, so I had to make it seem like she's going to cheat so that I can cheat and didn't feel bad about it. Because my mind, her cheating was texting, looking at the, whatever. It was crazy. But I'm going to go back to what we were talking about those kids, man, earlier. So right now, I think it's 70% of men are narcissistic and 30% of women are narcissistic. But those numbers are going up because, like you said, the lack of empathy, the lack of love, the lack of care. These kids are rewarded for being heartless and not rewarded or not thanked for being a good-natured person, not being a loving and caring person. And they don't spend time with family. They spend time with other people that are very influential in the streets, on social media, all these filters, all this fake stuff, and they like that, They like it. And so the numbers for narcissistic people are going to go up. Narcissistic people, borderline personality disorder, whatever, it's going to go up. Maybe even sociopaths and psychopaths. But these kids need mentors. They need more direction and guidance. They need more unity. They need more, nurturing. They need more family time. But they don't want to. They'll say their family time is being in their bedroom for 15 hours, not showering online with somebody in Korea. That togetherness, man, that community, that unity, that talking, it's not there anymore. And we are fighting hard to get it back, but it's going further away from us. You can look on YouTube and you can see the black men that are hurting other black men. You can see, like, Charles White, I like him, he's funny, but he's getting things together. He's going after gang members and all this other stuff. Then you got Kwame Brown and Stephen A. going at each other. Now you got Kwame Brown and Shannon Sharp going at each other. It's just all these black men that are hurting each other every single day, Lee. That's why it's special that you and I are talking right now. And you can go on YouTube, you can go on Instagram. You see, now I follow Isaac Hayes Jr. I like him, great dude. He did a post the other day. He called this guy name is Donnie Poppy, I think. He's a black guy that talks about relationships. He talked about Ace Metaphor. I like him too. He talked about another dude, Chris Perry, I think. These guys talk about great stuff. But he put on, and he had Derek Jackson on there. He said these four guys, these four black men or men are the most toxic, lame men in America right now. And that kind of hurt me because I'm like, man, you got a big platform, my man. Why would you put him out there like that? And it wasn't true what he was saying. I know, we know how Derek Jackson did his thing. I get it. But those other guys, if you watch them, Ace Metaphor is putting out some heavy.
People look at the people. So the same things that people say about Ace Metaphor, they be saying about me because they think I'm just pandering to women because I'm talking about vulnerability and mental health. I was just like, y'all, I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking to you. I was like, I'm talking to men too. Just like women hear it, receive it better than men do. Men just like, oh, that nigga just trying to fuck women. I'm like, bro, I'm married. I'm good here. You know what I'm saying? He said,
I had a dude.
Simp, they call me a simp, panderer. They say I'm adding to the stigma of mental health issues. I'm like, no, I'm just literally showing y'all that vulnerability and going to therapy can help you live a healthier existence. Because people like, I get tagged in some of the video too. I was like, this sound like Lee Hammond. I'm like, what I do? I'm just talking about mental health. Like,
bro, it's you know what? Like I said, Lee, in 2 years I've amassed about 375,000 followers. Right? I know you have a lot, 1 million or so. And in 2 years, I've been talking about this. In 2 years, almost 400,000 followers or listeners, 7 men, bro, seven reached out, okay? And in that 7, they're all under the age of 40. So the other men, like, Leon, fuck you, I want to hear that bull crap, you pandering, you ain't that, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, bro, I get it, but you're not going to stop me from helping these people. I owe a debt to society, specifically women, Lee, because I put out some bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I know this is my assignment. I didn't choose to start making videos about narcissism. I didn't. A woman that was very close to God said, Leon, you need to start doing videos. God told me to tell you to start doing videos. I was like, shit, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a tough dude. But I was scared, Lee, so I started doing it. So these guys, and then I said, look, man, so I come. This is me. I'm wide open, bro. I'm wide open. Hi, my name is Leon. I'm a narcissist, and I have mommy issues. And dudes was laughing at me. Matter of fact, I did a video last year, and I redid it. I talked about it again a month ago. So I stalked my girlfriend in 1991.
That's it. I
stalked the hell out of her.
That video popped up on my YouTube. That's when it popped up on my YouTube. I was like, oh, he on YouTube too. I just watched that, and I just followed you on YouTube the other day because that video popped up in my time. That video popped up in my timeline. I like, he being extra vulnerable in this one. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? So thank you for that, because World Star Hip Hop got it, and they posted, and people laughed at me, right? I didn't stalk my girlfriend to hurt her. I stalked her because she crushed my ego. I had that, like they say, the narcissistic injury. I have a grown child wound, okay? And when she broke up with me, I broke up with her first to go have overseas so I can be single and have sex with Asian women. And I came back expecting her to be there. She was gone. I lost my mind. I wasn't used to women leaving me. I was always leaving them. And so when it happened, I was like, ooh, I cried. I'm stalking. I'm climbing fences. I'm drinking old English and Cisco, mixing the bottles. Like, boom, where you at, girl? Knocking on doors, going through windows. I was gone, but they laughed at me, right? So now 2 guys called me because they are vulnerable and they're stalking, and they can't handle it. And I talked to them. But when I tell you, when you hurt a good woman, like I did, and the tables turn, I did a video about that. When those tables turn, that pain is unbearable because
I'm telling you,
we don't know how to process.
Like I said, I was just like in the stages where I used to just be emotionally disconnected from my wife. I would just, just be super angry with it. I talk about the reverse discard when the narcissistic person wants you to be the one who leaves. I used to want my wife to leave. I hope she leaves. You know what I mean? But now you just sit up at night. I would wake up in the middle of the night and just be staring at her. Like, could I watch her be with? We got kids. I'm like, can I watch her be with somebody else? and that shit would eat me. That shit would eat
Right.
me alive. I'm like, you know what? No, I couldn't do that. You know what? That would burn me to the pieces. I got I feel like I got a good woman. I was like, that would eat me alive. And I know how my mind works. I feel like my mind works the same type of, like, kind of similar to yours. It's like rejection breeds obsession. I'll be upset. And that obsession can lead to that stalking and stuff like that. You just like, oh shit, you're gonna be with somebody else. You gonna it burns. It, like the narcissistic injury happens, and it burns a hole in you, and it can really fuck you up. It really, really can.
You can't handle it because I've been there, and I recovered. The only reason why I recovered is because I was in the military and I didn't want to lose my job. But when I was stalking, I was doing things to lose my job. I wasn't going to work. I wasn't waking up on time. I wasn't taking showers. I wasn't wearing my uniform. I wanted to find her. I wanted to chase her. And then I found her, asked her to marry me. Once, like somebody posted here, they all gonna laugh at you, and they did, you know. But that was an injury, and I don't ever want to go through that again. But that wasn't enough to keep me from being whorish and arrogant and cocky. So I got her back with them. She said, and I tell women, if you once a man hurts you and he's gone, he comes back. If you take him back, they're gonna hurt you. It gets
progressively worse. I do a lot of videos on that too. I was just like, if you take them back after they do something horrible to you, it's going to get worse because, like, I got away with this and you forgave me for it. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're gonna, and I said, I'm with Leon, but I love him. Okay, but he doesn't love you. I never tell women to leave their man. I never tell men to leave their women, but I tell them don't leave yourself.
I think a lot of people they see my platform too, and they think I'm just conditioned. I'm just out here just like, hey, leave the person you're with. I know that I can't tell you to leave. You know what I mean? I cannot tell you to leave. What I feel like I'm doing right now is I'm just providing you enough tools, enough information for you to make that decision yourself, because nobody can tell you to leave. You know what I mean? Nobody can tell you that. And I talk about Dr. Romney in some of my videos. She wrote a book called Should I Stay or Should I Go? I feel like the reason she titled that book, Should I Stay or Should I Go? Is because you have to decide that yourself. Here's the information. You decide what you can tolerate, what you cannot tolerate, and you make the decision on your own. Because if somebody makes you leave, if somebody forces you to leave, you're going to go back. You know what I mean?
And I tell women, look, if you accept that behavior, like all the women that I was with, they did, you're going to always be number 2, 3, or 4. I've always had, and as a cheater, man, I hate it. I was sick. I was a sick person, and couldn't nobody stop me. Couldn't nobody tell me to do any better. But I tell women, look, you know, you don't have to settle. If this man is not getting therapy, if he doesn't want to make the relationship better, if he doesn't want to save the family, it's not going to get better. I had the military to send me to therapy, and I couldn't fail. So if there's nothing on the end of while you're in therapy, if there's nothing that you have to commit to make you stay in the therapy, in civilian world, they're gonna walk away or not at all.
Because, and I also tell people, they have to want to do therapy for themselves. They can't do it just to keep you. And I tell this to people all the time because I've still been married. My wife did come back. I tell people, like, she can come here right now and just embarrass me during her live and say, hey, I'm leaving for good. And that would get on my nerves. It would hurt me, but I would still go to therapy next week. You know, I would go to therapy because it's not for her. And I know how I'll be on some other shit if she did leave. So I'm so tied in right now with my mind and mentally. You know what I mean? That if she did leave, I just don't think I would believe in love no more, and I would just go into my hoary ways. I told you.
I tell people, I don't want to be that person. You know, I tell people, narcissistic people, and you know this, can be very dangerous, very risky, right? Very adventurous, very unassuming, all kinds of things we can be. So it's a euphoric feeling I used to get when I was cheating, when I was sneaking, when I was sexing and texting, when I was watching porn, when I was yelling and screaming. It was like, that was the best feeling for me. Being normal and calm was abnormal to me, and I didn't like that.
Just being normal, it just feels weird. You know what I mean? It does just feel weird. It's just like, sometimes you do get to that point where you feel like you like doing that other stuff. It's just like, it makes more sense. It makes you feel alive. You know, I just feel like being normal is like dying sometimes. I just like doing all this other risky stuff makes you feel alive. So And I just feel like that's why, and people ask me how long I'll be in therapy. I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life, because if I don't go to therapy, the narcissistic side, I feel like that's waiting to take back over. It just, like, therapy is kind of like me fighting the battle against myself, against the narcissism, to keep it down, to keep it under control. I feel like if I stop going to therapy, it's going to take back over, because it's easier for, you know, I'm 37 years old. I've been in therapy since I was 32. It would be easier for me to revert back to the first 32 years of my behaviors be for the last 5.5, 6 years. You know, go back to that.
Easy. Yeah, I tell people, it's like, I don't want to be that person anymore, but only through therapy have I found that why I was that person. I was that person because of other people. Because, you know, my uncle touched my 10-year-old penis, my babysitter, my cousins, my dad, you know, rough, my mom discarded and leaving me, sent me to live with an older lady that I was attracted to. I was this person because of those people. And so I had to, and she taught me, we talked about forgiveness. I don't want to forgive no damn body. I'm like, no, I like being angry. I like being pissed off. I like being in control. I like being arrogant. I like being cocky. Leave me the hell alone. If I was doing so bad, I wouldn't get promoted.
We talk about forgiveness.
You know?
That's one of the first things we had to talk about in therapy was forgiveness. And I was just like, but the first person you got to forgive is yourself. And she was just like, you got to forgive yourself first. Before we can move forward, you have to find a way to forgive yourself. And then all that shit, all the bad stuff you done do coming to me, you're like, how do I forgive myself for doing all this horrible shit for so long to so many people? And then you're just like, she's like, yeah, you have to forgive yourself for the things you did not know. You're like, you were not in control back then. You're in control now. You have to take the steps right now. In the first steps of you taking control is forgiving yourself for what you did not know. Like, and you got to spend the rest of your life making it up to people. You know, you might not reach back out to the people you hurt, but the best thing I can do right now is to help other people. And that's why I do. That's kind of part of my platform now, is to help other people to make up for the bullshit I did in the past. I won't reach out to somebody I dealt with 20 years ago, because they might have been healed by now. People ask me, do you reach out to your your exes and apologize? My son's mom, I've apologized to her because I still talk to her. I still deal with her now, because we have my oldest son is 15 years old. We're gonna be dealing with each other for a long time. Anybody else, I just feel like they might be healed. You know, if I reach out to them, I might re-traumatize them. Like, I haven't heard from Lee in 20 years. He just called me. I got panic attacks and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So the best thing I can do right now is to move forward and try to help as many people as I possibly can. Dealing with the hate, dealing with the Jezebel spirit and all the other shit that people be saying. You know?
Yeah. You know, my medical record says, I gotta laugh because I didn't know. You know, when you're in therapy, they typing as you talking, and I'm like, at first I was like, I wonder what she's saying or whatever. Right? And so I didn't look at my medical record for like years after therapy, and I looked in there, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, it says therapy for this service member will be indefinite. I'm like, indefinite? What the hell? In all caps. I'm like, y'all wrong for this, you know, but therapy, you're right. Therapy it's ongoing, man. If I wasn't doing videos, and see the people that listen, not followers, the people that listen to me, even you, people hold me accountable, because it's like, hey man, thank you, Lee. And I'm like, but before, when I got those things, it's like, yeah, you know. But now it's like, oh wow, okay, I appreciate that. You know, I'm more humble now and grateful for being able to be strong. Because you have to be strong, bro, to do these videos. I know you get what I do. I know.
And I just think a lot of people used to asking my wife, there's like, how did your wife feel about you doing these videos and stuff like that? She used to have a problem because she thought popularity would be bad for me, and people be, you know, it probably would increase the propensity to cheat or whatever. You know, people gonna reach out. But now she sees the people that talk, the people are gonna hold me accountable. Like, anybody gonna reach out to me and try to cheat with me? They'd be stupid. It was like, yeah, we gonna defend her. Yeah, we in it for her. So I just like, that's cool. She likes that part of it, because she comes on my and talks like we got you there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so with me being closest to God and watching RC Blake's videos, man, I love it, bro. I never loved watching a pastor speak. I hated it, Lee.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it. And I would say things to my ex-girlfriend so she would never ask me to go to church ever again. And I was fine with that. But now it's like the last couple of years, it feels good to watch R.C. Blake's and start learning more about the Bible, you know, and why I was acting the way that I was acting, because narcissism is in the Bible, you know, and why I was so arrogant and in love with myself and expect everybody to be in love with me. But I ain't loving no damn body. Get the hell out of here with that love. But now it's like, man, I was a rotten dude, man. I'm happy now. And you know what? I mentioned earlier that, and I'm going to let you go. I got to go pick up some wings. But I owe a debt to society, man. I got to, you know, I give back because I want to help, you know. I want to help. And it feels good now to give back something genuinely instead of giving back because I want to get more from her. You know what I'm saying? Because I
do. I appreciate you coming on here, dude. Because I'm telling you, I just like, I was excited. I was nervous to reach out to you because I don't like rejection. I like, he gonna say no to me. I had a drink on. I was like,
nah. We do another one, Lee. Let me know. We could do another one, man. We'll come up with a topic, whenever you want. But see, I tell you, man, and it's not just exclude white men, Asian men, Latin men. Those are my brothers, you know. But black men, we got to get into therapy. We have to start looking at the women as if they're not. We don't expect them to be submissive and subservient and docile and, you know, get on their knees when walking the house. Women want to be loved and cherished and appreciated and celebrated too. They want to be. It's easy to motivate a woman to get her to want to be a woman. She's a woman. She knows that, right? But she wants to be respected, admired. She wants to be appreciated. She don't want to be cheated on. She wants to be talked to. I understand. I understood these things when I was 18, but I wanted to be more of a whore than anything.
It's a lot tougher for women nowadays too, because like, you know, they see the rise of women and how powerful women are becoming, and then just kind of like people frown upon stay-at-home moms and things like that nowadays. So my wife struggles with being a stay-at-home mom because she's, you know, sometimes I just feel like she's not getting. I was just like, you know, you're doing amazing. You know, we work together. We're about to write a book together now, so we're working on the book right now. You know what I mean? So we were
nice, yeah. So stuff like that, man. It's you know, I've never really partnered with anybody. I was married for 12 years, and I had a beautiful wife. She was she had morals. She's moral. She had character and integrity. She was too pure for me and too nice and too good for me. I wanted those Jezebels where we can go out here and have sex behind a dumpster and go smoke a black and mild. You know, that was all about that. Was very unhealthy.
It's just weird how sometimes the unhealthiness can make you feel more alive than just being normal.
It did, but I was dying. You know, I was dying, man. And then, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. And I'll let you go. But my father had those same type of women that I was attracted to, the smokers, drinkers, fighters, and stuff. And I used to look at them. I'm like, she missing teeth, Dad. You know. And then this good-looking lady come around. She got long flowing hair, red lipstick, earrings, a London Fog trench coat, and she giving me money. Hey, Leon, when you see your dad, tell him I came by. Here's $10. Look at some ice cream. I'm like, and he would tell me, hey man, if Sheila come by, tell her I ain't here. But he up there with Irene smoking Pall Malls and they having sex on the damn barbecue pit. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I wanted too. I'm like, Dad, my dad was a hell of a man, but man, he had me looking at the wrong women, bro, for a long time, you know. So yeah, Lee, let's do it again, man. You reach out. Okay. I'll text you my cell phone, man.
We'll definitely reach out, brother. We'll definitely connect, man. I love speaking to you, man. Getting your story and hearing a lot of your stuff, man. I appreciate you. If y'all need to follow Leon, is it Leon R. Walker? Leon R. Walker?
It should be, Leon R. Walker on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They Google me. I got a couple of books out.
Search them up on Amazon too. I was just looking at the book earlier. What's
I do a lot of book giveaways too. My latest book is out called The 7 Loveless Traits, and it's new. It came out in March, and I do book giveaways. I've been doing quite a few book giveaways. I got like 2 more book giveaways to do. So yeah, I'm out here, man. Just, you know, they can Google me and find me, but I appreciate it, Lee, man. Let's do it again. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy your videos too, man. I try not to laugh, but they're funny, but they're real, man. You know?
Man, just take care of yourself, man. Just be safe. Like we'll reconnect.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, brother. All right, later. Bye.
That was a good live, y'all. That was a good live. That was a good solid live, y'all. I'm gonna be live for a couple